Morning. How is everybody today? I'm a little bit later because I actually had a cup of coffee with my son Joey this morning from New Jersey. So I actually talked to him for a bit first, but you guys get to finish my cup of coffee with me today. This is actually a very, very special mug that was made specifically for me. First of its kind, from an absolutely beautiful, precious client that I absolutely adore, who actually won a battle with cancer, which I'm so proud of her resilience and how she moved through that situation. And she made this mug specifically for me. And inside of the mud, the earth, is our crystals. So this is my crystal empowered mug that I love to drink out of. So I just have to share that with you because it's such a special mug for me. And I was okay having a smaller cup of coffee this morning. Good morning, Christina. How are we today? So we are coming to the end of the Tao of Pooh. And I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Tomorrow I think it's tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to do it in the evening, this next book, or the morning. It might be the evening because of the type of book it is. I will be starting another book to share with you all that I think is I think it should be one of those mandatory things that humans read, as adults, mandatory reading in high school. And the most wonderful thing is younger people, 7th, 8th grade as well, and I'd say maybe 6th. I think maybe 6th could read this as well. And it's one of those books that you can learn so much from, as well as brain went dead, as well as every time you reread it, you learn or see something new in the book. And those are the types of amazing things, and it will inspire you. If you're open to receive, it will inspire you. So I think the readings from that particular book is going to be in the evening, because that's the best time for it. This is supposed to be like more morning, uplifting, getting you up thinking. So I actually might start some breath work things in the morning that I post for you guys. But this next book I'm thinking is either going to have to be like midday or evening, depending on what my timing and my work's involved is doing. And it's also one of those books that I do not recommend in hardcover. Why? Because it's one of those backpack through Europe kind of books. Hang out in the campground, something you can actually fold and put in the back pocket and always have it with you. That's how special this book is actually to me. So, but today, you're going to finish the Tao of Pooh. Okay? So, nowhere and nothing. Where are we going? Said Pooh, hurrying after him, and wondering whether it was to be an explorer or what shall I do about you-know-what. Nowhere, said Christopher Robin. So they began going there, and after they had walked a little way, Christopher Robin said, "What do you like doing best in the world, Pooh?" And of course, what Pooh liked doing best was going to Christopher Robin's house and eating. But since we've already quoted that, we don't think we need to quote that again. From Heaven in the Morning. I like that too, said Christopher Robin. But what I like doing best is nothing. How do you do nothing? Asked Pooh, after he had wondered for a long time. Well, it's when people call out at you just as you're going off to do it. What are you going to do, Christopher Robin? And you say, oh, nothing, and then you go and do it. Oh, I see, said Pooh. This is a nothing sort of thing that we're doing now. Oh, I see, said Pooh again. It means just going along, listening to all the things you can't hear, and not bothering. Wang Zi described it in this way. Good morning. Consciousness wandered north to the land of the dark waters and climbed the unnoticeable slope, where he met speechless non-doer. I have 3 questions for you, consciousness said. First, what thoughts and efforts will lead us to understanding the Tao? Second, where must we go and what must we do to find peace in the Tao? Third, from what point must we start and which road must we follow in order to teach the Tao? Speechless non-doer gave him no answer. So then, conscious traveled south to the land of the bright ocean and climbed the mountain of certainty, where he saw the impulsive speech maker. He asked them the same questions, and here are the answers. Impulsive speech maker replied, but as soon as he started to speak, he became confused and forgot what he was talking about. Consciousness returned to the palace and asked the Yellow Emperor, who told him to have no thought and put forth no effort is the first step towards understanding the Tao. To go nowhere and do nothing is the first steps towards finding peace in the Tao. To start from no point and follow no road is the first step towards reaching the Tao. What Wang Zi, Christopher Robin, and Pooh are describing is the great secret. The key that unlocks the doors of wisdom, happiness, and truth. What is that magic? Mysterious something? Nothing? To the Taoist, nothing is something. And something, at least, the sort of thing that many consider to be important, is really nothing at all. Our explanation of this will attempt to give some sort of indication of what the Taoists call Taizu, the great nothing. We will begin with an illustration from the writings of Wang Zi. On his way back from the Kunlun Mountains, the Yellow Emperor lost the dark pearl of the Tao. He sent knowledge to find it, but knowledge was unable to understand it. He sent distant vision, but distant vision was unable to see it. He sent eloquence, but eloquence was unable to describe it. Finally, he sent empty mind. An empty mind came back with the pearl. When Eeyore lost his tail, who found it? Who found it for him? Clever Rabbit? No. He was busy doing clever things. Scholarly Owl? No. He didn't recognize it when he saw it. Know-it-all Eeyore? No. He didn't even realize that it was missing until Pooh told him. And even then, it took a while to convince him that the tail was definitely not there. When Pooh went off to find it, first he stopped at Owl's house. And Owl told him in 25,000 monotonous words or more that the thing to do would be to issue a reward, which would involve writing out yawn notice and putting it yawn all over the oh yes, where were we? All over the forest. And then they went outside. And Pooh looked at the knocker and the notice below it. And he looked at the bell rope and the notice below it. And the more he looked at the bell and the bell rope, the more he felt that he had seen something like it somewhere else, sometime before. Handsome bell rope, isn't it? Said Owl. Pooh nodded. It reminds me of something, he said. But I can't think what. Where did you get it? I just came across it in the forest. It was hanging over a bush, and I thought at first somebody lived there, so I rang it, and nothing happened. And then I rang it again, very loudly, and it came off in my hand. And as nobody seemed to want it, I took it home. And, aha, said Pooh. So Pooh returned the tail to Eeyore, and after it had been put back in place, Eeyore felt much better. For a while, anyway. An empty sort of mind is valuable for finding pearls and tails and things because it can see what's in front of them. An overstuffed mind is unable to. While the clear mind listens to a bird singing, the stuffed full of knowledge and cleverness mind wonders what kind of bird is singing. The more stuffed up it is, the less it can hear through its own ears and see through its own eyes. Knowledge and cleverness tend to concern themselves with the wrong sorts of things, and a mind confused by knowledge, cleverness, and abstract ideas tends to go chasing off after things that don't matter or that don't even exist, instead of seeing, appreciating, and making use of what is right in front of it. Let's consider emptiness in general for a moment. What is it about the Taoist landscape painting that seems so refreshing to so many different kinds of people? The emptiness, the space that's not filled in. What is it about fresh snow, clean air, pure water, or my favorite, good music? As Claude Debussy expressed it, music is the space between the notes. I so resonate with that. I do. Woohoo, baby. Owie, baby. Wanga, wanga, wanga. Baby, don't leave me. Wanga, wanga, crash, bang. Don't know what the song is, guys, but baby, don't leave me. Click, like silence after noise or cool, clear water on a hot, stuffy day. Emptiness cleans out the messy mind and charges up the batteries of spiritual energy. Many people are afraid of emptiness, however, because it reminds them of loneliness. Everything has to be filled in, it seems. Appointment books, hillsides, vacant lots. But when all the spaces are filled, the loneliness really begins. Then the groups are joined, the classes are signed up for, and the gift to yourself items are bought. When the loneliness stops creeping in the door, the television set is turned on to make it go away. But it doesn't go away. So some of us do instead. And after discarding the emptiness of the big congested mess, we discover the fullness of nothing. One of our favorite examples of the value of nothing is an incident in the life of the Japanese Emperor Hirohito. Now, being emperor in one of the most frantically Confucianist countries in the world is not necessarily all that relaxing. From early morning until late at night, practically every minute of the emperor's time is filled in with meetings, audiences, tours, inspections, and who knows what. And though a day is so tightly scheduled that it would make a stone wall seem open by comparison, the emperor must glide like a great ship sailing in a steady breeze. In the middle of a particularly busy day, the emperor was driven to a meeting hall for an appointment of some kind. But when he arrived there was no one there. The emperor walked into the middle of the great hall, stood silently for a moment, then bowed to the empty space. He turned to his assistants, a large smile on his face. We must schedule more appointments like this, he told them. I haven't enjoyed myself so much in a long time. In the 48th chapter of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu wrote, to attain knowledge, add things every day. To attain wisdom, remove things every day. Wangzi described the principle in his own humorous way. I am learning, Yanhui said. How? The master asked. I forgot the rules of righteousness and the levels of benevolence, he replied. Good, but could be better, the master said. A few days later, Yen Wei remarked, I am making progress. How? The master asked. I forgot the rituals and the music, he answered. Better, but not perfect, the master said. Some time later, Yen Wei told the master, now I sit down and forget everything. The master looked up startled. What do you mean, you forget everything? He quickly asked. I forget my body and senses and leave all appearance and information behind, answered Yen Wei. In the middle of nothing, I joined the source of all things. The master bowed. You have transcended the limitations of time and knowledge. I am far behind you. You have found the way. Gathering and analyzing, sorting and storing information. These functions and more the mind can perform so automatically, skillfully, and effortlessly that it makes the most sophisticated computer look like a plastic toy by comparison. But it can do infinitely more. To use the mind as it's all too commonly used on the kinds of things that it's usually used on is about as efficient and inappropriate as using a magic sword to open up a can of beans. The power of a clear mind is beyond description, but it can be attained by anyone who can appreciate and utilize the value of nothing. Let's say you get an idea, or as Pooh would more accurately say, it gets you. Where did it come from? From this something which came from that something. If you are able to trace it all the way back to its source, you will discover that it came from nothing. And chances are, the greater the idea, the more directly it came from here. A stroke of genius, completely unheard of, a revolutionary new approach. Practically everyone has gotten some sort of idea like that sometime. Most likely, after a sound sleep when everything was so clear and filled with nothing. Nothing that an idea suddenly appeared in it. But we don't have to fall asleep for a few hours for that to happen. We can be awake instead, completely awake. The process is very natural. It starts when we are children, helpless but aware of all things, enjoying what is around us. Then we reach adolescence, still helpless, but trying to at least appear independent. When we outgrow that stage, we become adults, self-sufficient individuals, able and mature enough to help others as we have learned to help ourselves. But the adult is not the highest stage of development. The end of the cycle is that of the independent, clear-minded, all-seeing child. That is the level known as wisdom. And I lost my spot. Figures. All right, I found it. So that is the level known as wisdom. When the Tao Te Ching beginning, becoming a child again. That's what they're referring to. Why do the enlightened seem filled with light and happiness like children? Why do they sometimes even look and talk like children? Because they are. The wise are children who know. Their minds have been emptied of the countless minute somethings of small learning and filled with the wisdom of the great nothing, the way of the universe. They walked on, thinking of this and that, and by they came to an enchanted place on the very top of the forest called Galleon's Lap, which is 60-something trees in a circle. And Christopher Robin knew that it was enchanted because nobody had ever been able to count whether it was 63 or 64, not even when it tied a piece of string around each tree after he had counted it. Being enchanted, its floor was not like the floor of the forest, gorse and bracken and heather, but close-set grass, quiet, smooth, and green. Sitting there, they would see the whole world spread out until it reached the sky, and whatever there was, all the world was with them in Galleon's lap. There the Pooh books come to an end in the enchanted place at the top of the forest. We can go there any time. It's not far away. It's not hard to find. Just take the path to nothing and go nowhere until you reach it, because the enchanted place is right where you are. And if you're friendly with bears, you can find it. Last chapter, my loves. The Tao of Pooh. In the morning sunshine, in the evening twilight, a small bear travels through the forest. Why did we follow him when we were so much younger? He is, after all, only a bear of little brain. But is brain all that's important? Is it really brain that takes us where we need to go? Or is it all too often brain that sends us off in the wrong direction, following the echo of the wind in the treetops, which we think is real, rather than listening to the voice within us that tells us which way to turn? A brain can do all kinds of things, but the things that it can do are not the most important things. Abstract cleverness of mind only separates the thinker from the world of reality. And that world, the forest of real life, is in a desperate condition now, because of too many who think too much and care too little. In spite of what many minds have thought themselves into believing, that mistake cannot continue for much longer if everything is going to survive. The one chance we have to avoid certain disaster is to change our approach and to learn to value wisdom and contentment. These are the things that are being searched for anyway, through knowledge and cleverness. They never have, and they never will. We can no longer afford to look so desperately hard for anything in the wrong way and in the wrong place. If knowledge and cleverness are allowed to go on wrecking things, they will be before much longer destroy all life on earth as we know it. And what little may temporarily survive will not be worth looking at, even if it would somehow be possible for us to do. The masters of life know the way, for they listen to the voice within them, the voice of wisdom and simplicity, the voice that reasons beyond cleverness and knows beyond knowledge. That voice is not just power and property of a few, but has been given to everyone, to each and every one of us. Those who pay attention to it are too often treated as exceptions to the rule, rather than as examples of the rule in operation. A rule that can apply to anyone who makes use of it. Within each of us there is an owl, a rabbit, an Eeyore, and a Pooh. For too long, we have chosen the way of the owl and the rabbit. Now, like Eeyore, we complain about the results, but that accomplishes nothing. If we are smart, we will choose the way of Pooh. As if from far away it calls to us with the voice of a child's mind. It may be hard to hear at times, but it is important just the same, because without it, we will never find our way through the forest. Last part, the backward. We're almost there. Well, what do you think, Pooh? I said. Think about what? Asked Pooh. The Tao of Pooh, of course. The how of Pooh? Asked Pooh. Do we have to go through that again? I said. Go through what again? Asked Pooh. The Tao of Pooh. You know, the uncarved block, the cobblestone pie principle, the Pooh way, that sort of bear, and all of that. Oh, said Pooh. That's the Tao of Pooh, I said. Oh, said Pooh. How would you describe it? I asked. Well, this just came to me, he said, and I'll sing it to you, all right? Now then, To know the way, we go the way. We do the way we do. The things we do, it's all there in front of you. But if you try too hard to see it, you'll only become confused. I am me, and you are you, as you can see. But when you do the things that you can do, you will find the way, and the way will follow you. That's what I think it is, he said. Perfect, I said. But you know, don't you? Know what? Said Pooh. It's the same thing. Oh, said Pooh. So it is. And that's when we come to the end of the Tao of Pooh. While Eeyore frets, and Piglet hesitates, and Rabbit calculates, and Owl pontifies, Pooh just is. And that's a clue to the secret wisdom of the Taoists. You definitely want to get one of these. And what a wonderful way. Because as adults, we enjoy it. But you can start teaching your children as well, so that they don't have all the anxiety that they have in this world right now. Don't have all the pressures. Watch your children if you have them. Watch your grandchildren. Watch a child playing at a park. Listen to the questions they ask or what they notice. Because you can learn from them just as much as they need to learn from us. To simply be who they are. To express themselves authentically. Because yes, we are all connected. But the very things that live in this human world and make us human is individual to each one of us. And that individuality, when we practice the way of peace and love and compassion and understanding, even when you don't agree, is what makes this world and this life the most beautiful of possibilities. And I love you all fierce. And the human in me sees, respects, and loves the human in you. And you and I, we are imperfectly perfect together. And I would not want to live one single day without you. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I might be jumping on later to surprise some people. It just sees how my day goes. Tomorrow, the book that I'm going to be reading to you all, starting to. So it's going to take us a while to go through. The chapters are a little bit bigger. But tomorrow, I'm going to start The Alchemist. Because I think it's a book that if you haven't read, you need to read. And if by listening to my voice and spending a little time with me will help you to actually do that, it's worth the time. I love you guys fierce. Gotta go start my day. Thank you for finishing my coffee with me today. Thank you for all of the support and spending time with me in the morning. And I hope that the Tao of Pooh has brought you a little bit of peace and a little bit of joy, and a little bit of wonder. Maybe we could put on those rose-colored glasses amidst all the anger and everything else going around, and create that beautiful future for ourselves and our family. I'm so glad you were about to read that. The Alchemist is an amazing book here. It is. A book about you, Mama. Too funny. Too funny. Yeah, it's an amazing book. I think that's a book that everybody should read. reread should be mandatory reading for high school and even 7th and 8th graders, because they'll understand it in their own way and you can discuss it with them. And then they'll understand it in a different way when they're a freshman, and a different way when they're a senior, and then go into college. And then as a young adult, oh my goodness. And as a older person, like me, there's so much magic within that book. The possibilities are endless. All right, guys. So message me when you guys think I should read that book, because that's a little bit different than reading the Tao of Pooh. Definitely send me a message. I'm thinking that's a better evening book if I was to come on at night, like, I don't know, 6 p.m. PST or 7 p.m. PST, and that would be 9 or 10 EST, or if it's a lunchtime, if I should maybe at lunchtime when we're all supposed to be taking a break and a breather a little bit, is it better for me to read it then, or doing rush hour because people are driving home and they might listen? I don't know. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.